Good afternoon. God, I almost said good morning. Holy moly. Almost. Um, before I go any further here, I just realized I probably should push out the update to Rustbound Magic that I forgot to push out. So let's do that before jumping into anything. This should fix the issue with the Sanctum. Shintharo, hello. Hope you're having a good day. My day's been pretty good. Rustbound Magic, here we go. Bam, we're gonna add a release. Releases, here we go, drop it in. That's right, we are back to a fucking release candidate. Are you kidding me with this damn game? Like, don't rush it. Like, don't rush it. Oh, well, this is for 1.20.0. I gotta touch a freaking release candidate again. Been burned too many times. I'll say fix the Sanctum tablet recipe. Here we go. That's literally what this does. There you go. There you go. Working on some mod stuff myself right now. What are you working on specifically? Can't believe we're back to a release candidate. Oh, oof. It's embarrassing. Oh, God. God. All right, let's get back into this. I think I have the game open still, yeah. You know what? I don't know how long it's been open. Let's just save and quit. And there we go. We'll go back in. Spawning for the Alpine Dragon eggs. Yeah, I'm kind of wondering how I'm going to... do things with the wyverns. I'm not sure. See, I'm kind of stuck between two different things, unfortunately. I'm putting in some RNG stuff to where when these things spawn in, they will have randomized health, randomized speed, and the third attribute is the randomized stamina. Healing group / lurk mode. Hey, Oder. There we go. So I'm starting to spawn this stuff, right? And I have a lot of this stuff. I'm starting to, like, thread the needle here. But I'm not sure how I want to do this. if that makes any sense. Because so I got two different types of mounts right now. The first one is, you know, the original one here, right? You hop on, flight feels good, like it's true flight for the entity. You are just along for the ride. Like, the animations are rocked on. Like, I love the way flying feels with the wyverns right now. Feels good. Feels very good. You'll notice that I have a little makeshift stamina bar there, right? So the longer these things, you know, fly, right? Like, as they fly, stamina bar will tick down. It disappears when you're not on them, right? So I put that in. That was pretty easy to do. So I got this kind, right? But unfortunately, this uses passive physics, which means that if you try to run like AI tasks or anything to do with movement, it's not going to work, right? The Mortally Wounded, the way it is, it seems like, and maybe I just don't know like how the Mortally Wounded works, like everything that it needs. It causes a crash. And it looks like it wants Entity Agent, and not something that inherits from Entity Agent. It's kind of weird. Kind of weird. Or I have this. This is the riding system that the Elks kind of use. And it's great if you want a ground mount. Like I have sprint, jump, right? Like they have some form of like AI to where they may wander. I'm pretty sure the bone flutes will work on these. If you... They're mortally woundable. You know, so it's weird. It's like... it's like a mix between, like, what do I want? Do I want, to mimic the elk system and then lose the awesome kind of flying system that I developed? Or do I kind of try to get most of this stuff and then kind of break away from, yeah, you know what, there's a little baby wyvern, trap it in a box, feed it. You know what I mean? Like, how are these things going to grow and interact in the world? I don't know. How are you handling the animation speed with the RNG move speed? Well, there's no true RNG move speed. Are you talking about, like, as it's flying around? Like in my flight brain? Here, let's pull out a wild one. Those are tame. Here we go. Oop. There we go. We'll keep spawning until... There we go. We get a couple flying ones. Boop. Talking about the wing speed? Like when it's kind of flying? Have you looked at Jaunt? I do not use other people's mods for this stuff. Mainly because if that person decides to suddenly go to Minecraft and they don't update their stuff, your mod doesn't work. So like all the stuff that I'm doing, like the little, the little stamina bars, the little, like how the RNG is, how my animations are, I'm just kind of doing all that because, I would hate to cut a couple corners now and then, have my mod be something that I can't, that I'm gonna have to drop. So it's kind of one of my things, right? Some people are like, hey, why don't you use pet AI? Like, I love Gerst, but I'm not gonna use someone else's mod. But that's just a me thing. One throat to choke. Well, you said RNG speed, so I assume it was move speed. Well, I haven't implemented that yet. I just got health going. But there will be. And, I mean, honestly, it kind of depends on, like, I would have to see what the wing speed is, originally. Because I'm gonna have to have a minimum and maximum, right? So... How I'm saving it right now, it's rolling a 1 out of 20, and then that's an attribute that's going to stay with the wyverns, for each thing, like health or whatever. And I want a breeding system to where maybe you could find a couple of these, like a mom that's like has a lot of stamina and a dad with a lot of health, and you can make those two mate to try and get a baby that has the increased you know what I mean? Like that would have like the increased stats of each, so you can like breed the creatures. You find something with like really fast movement speed, but it's, it doesn't stay in the air long. That kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, it would just be a matter of like math, right? I would just look to see what the slowest acceptable, the way it looks, like what's the slowest acceptable animation speed, what's the animation speed that's gonna, be like the fastest without making it look goofy, and then probably just kind of clamping between those two and stepping through depending on the, the 1 out of 20 value. Wouldn't be too bad. There. Thought it might be interesting, maybe collab at some point, since we're working towards very similar things. I gotcha. Yeah. I've never really done something like that. The first thing, actually, with the wyverns here, I've been with Verlia. She's making the base models, and I am giving them life and putting in the other systems and whatnot. I gotta move this stamina bar. I'm not sure how much I want for the stamina bar. You know, like how, like where I want it. I'm gonna probably come up with a couple docked places. Let you change it with a config. Yeah, she told me. Yeah. You guys talk? I don't know who knows who. Oh, I was gonna say, what is that? I'm like, it's glitched sideways. Alright, let's throw some of this stuff out here. Oh, you know what? Here, let me pick up this. We'll put this one down. Yeah, I've noticed there's some weird things with the elks, too. Right, because this right here would be pretty similar, right? You can kind of sprint, jump. It's just really weird the way this is. Like, I like a lot of the stuff that the elk system brings in. I do not like how they work still. Like, this feels very weird. There's like weird sidestepping that it's doing. Like, some of the animations don't work fully. Like, that one right there didn't trigger the jump. It's just like running fast. This would be better in a creative world. I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. And then the other part of this is using the system, these things kind of can go brain dead when you dismount. Like, you would expect it to have like a mind of its own. Eventually this thing will wake up and start to wander, but right now it just kind of stays stationary. Let me do the speed. Let's get the speed and the stamina also kind of going for the RNG. I'm gonna have to implant that information up top here. So game mode 1, right? You won't be able to see the health or anything. I'm gonna have to add to that information. Bum, 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 bum. What am I looking for here? Okay, so right in here, rolling the randoms, that's for the stamina. We're gonna have to go into the speed. Ooh, you know what? I should probably have these not set here. I think I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut all of this stuff out, except for the top. I'm gonna cut all this stuff out, and I think I'm going to embed it in my where to go? Mountable. There it is. I think I would put it in here. Because the idea is if there's harpies and griffins and all this other stuff, they would have a similar, like, they would have, like, whatever their health is, right? I would create a multiplier that would scale with the random, you know, health and other stats. And then that would just be rolling the random in here. And then I could go into the specific things like the wyvern, and I can say, okay, speed means flight speed, right? Or, you know, stamina means, you know, because it may be slightly different. Like, if I ever make just a ground mount, obviously, you know, speed would be your movement speed, your forward movement speed, but that's going to be a different calculation and a different controller than the flying. Maybe it could be jump speed, you know, like jump height. I could get an EQ2 Raptor kind of mount and have it just have a really high jump height, which would be pretty fun. Like, I could make it to where, like, oh man, I gotta find a way to register more things in the entity controller, more keybinds, Because I would love to be able to make special abilities for this. Like, how cool would it be to make, like, a raptor? Or, you know, like, give it, like, wings and stuff, you know, like a raptor, and have it to where, like, it could jump up really high doing its special ability, and then you could glide, right? Like, stuff like that becomes possible. There's a timer. Yeah, there's a timer of a day that disables the wander tasks after dismount. There is a timer. So after a day, your mount, like, wakes up and it's like, oh, there's no one on my back. Let me go to the bathroom. Let me go eat. I just spaced out there. Nice. Would you be opposed to joining our Discord? I could join your Discord. Wait, which Discord? Is it one that I'm already in? My god, I have so many. I didn't realize how many Discord servers I was in. Not until I scrolled and I'm like, what is all of this? Willow Ness, hey, thanks for the Prime sub, I appreciate it. Welcome on in, I hope you enjoy those icons. My mods team Discord, Verly is in here too. Yeah, if you want to send me an invite, I could join it. My time's usually around this time. It's pretty much right after work. I try to live stream unless I have to, you know, stay for work and do something. And then normally it's like every other night I'm kind of free. So my time, it would be like closer to 8 p.m. But yeah, I wouldn't mind. Let's see. Let's move some of this stuff to mountable. Hype! Welcome, welcome. Man, you know, it would be so much easier to make these things, like, not fly. I'd been thinking about that. I'm like, wouldn't it be easier to make these things to where they just kind of, the wyverns just kind of stayed on the ground? Didn't really fly around all the time. I don't know. You know, because then, like, you know, babies and stuff, they would be able to. See, the problem is, the adult starts to fly away, right? What does the child try to do, right? What would you know, the other partner, right? Like the female that's following the male, and the baby that's following the female. You know what I mean? Like, how does that flight relationship work? Especially when they all have, like, the same kind of, like, brain, and it's randomized, right? Sometimes, like, you know, like, maybe the baby will just want to go in flight mode, but I would have to put in extra stuff to, like, check the, you know, the entity, or at least put them all on the same kind of task. You know, or maybe have it to where, like, you know, if everyone follows the adult female, just maybe the adult female can turn it on and off. And then, like, through, like, the herd ID, you know, maybe I can fish out the entity and then see what the status is there. You know, and then flip the brain so, like, the whole family will fly. It's a unique thing. Yeah, we are people from multiple time zones. Or you got coders. All US based. Oh, that's cool. Our wyverns don't fly without a rider. Yeah, it was a cool thing, and I do love seeing them just kind of lumber around. But at the same time, I'm like, you know, kind of makes some things harder. It's cool, but it does make things harder. All right, let me migrate some stuff over here. What if you add them into herds like chickens? Won't they just follow all the time? Well, they could try and follow, but if they're not flying, they're going to be running on the ground, going back and forth like this, while the one they're following is, like, just kind of casually flying up in the air. It's the flight that's kind of making everything wonky. You know, like, if I was making, like, a ground mount or something, I'd have that licked. I got the system for it. if this was like an inanimate thing, you know, like an airship. You know, like they don't have to look like they're alive. I don't have to worry about all this extra stuff. I could just focus on making flight buttery smooth. Unfortunately, you know, I was ambitious, and I'm like, no, they should totally, they're wyverns. They should be able to just want to fly when they want to fly. And then, of course, I have things in there to where, like, if you hit them with so much damage, right, it takes a % of your damage, and then you could, like, knock them out of the sky and make them start, you know, like, going on the ground. Hey, thanks for the follow. The sub first and then the follow. Thank you, Willow. All right, let me do this here, and then we'll get back in and take a look at these little guys. I'm gonna put this side by side. First thing I want to bring over, I'm gonna keep these. I want to bring these over. Let's cut that out, and I'm going to keep everything kind of together. So I'm gonna paste that in. I'll probably rearrange this a little bit later. And really, it's this. It's this. On entity spawn. Ooh, I do not have an override for that right now. So I will put this in right after initialize. We will make on entity spawn. We are going to do the base on entity spawn. Right, we'll call the base. I'm gonna cut them out here. So first things first, no matter what kind of mount that we create, I'm gonna have it be able to roll its random attributes for now. These attributes probably will end up in the young, or if I make a wave, like maybe I can make my own bolo, and you can weaken these things and then like bolo them and then tame them that way. Like I don't know. It's not like there's a right or wrong, right? Make them mount the mother. Like a possum, right? Just hold right on. Looks like that wyvern's got like 5 babies on its back. Let's throw some spears at it and knock it out of the sky. That'd be an interesting thing where you could throw like rocks at it and like knock some of the babies off. And then try to catch them. Alright, so that would take care of the RNG. We're gonna save, we're gonna stop the game, we're gonna rebuild, hop back in, spawn a couple of these, make sure they still work. Man, 13 hours in this world. Ooh-wee. Oh yeah, and I still need to get the bridle and the saddle. I want to figure out, I may end up making my own kind of bone flute. Boop. The mortally woundable thing, that's going to be the hardest. Alright. Boop. 36 health. 48 health. 20 health. Oof. Sorry, buddy. 293 seconds. I think I want to tweak that a little bit. We can fly, we can glide. The stamina is going down. All right, let's make it to where the random or speed is affected. There we go. You rest up, buddy. You may or may not get an upgrade. And then I want to be able to see these stats as well. Let's go into... Let's see, I don't think it's going to be seats to motion. You know what? It's probably going to be seats to motion. Probably going to be this. Here, let's take a look here. So that's going to be... Ooh. I could just pump it right into here. because that would be forward speed. It would just be a matter of adding onto here. And then I can also thread it through to vertical speed. You know what? I'm gonna just add it to here. So I can say it's gonna be this dot. Tamed entity movement speed. So if this is gonna be like a 1 out of 20. I could make this, I could have it multiply by 0.1f. Right, so 20 times 0.1f. Right, because then I think that would be pretty decent. Let's paste this in. Boop, boop. I have no idea if this guy's gonna be fast or not. Spawn another one. Okay, this one is definitely slower by a little bit. I love how you dismount them and it's just like, all right, I'm just gonna hover to the ground. I'm gonna try to land. There we go. A rider just chucked me like a Yoshi in Mario. Let me show what these stats are here. Let's go into Mountable Wyvern. Gonna minimize that. On gain tick, on hurt, damage received. Do I not have an override for this? Ooh. Oh, Vice. Ooh, Vice. How could you? Alright, so let me look for info, right? Get info text. I believe that's what it is. Yeah, get the info text for the entity. So we're going to copy that. I will put this right here. And now what I'm going to want to do... Let's just see how this is going to work. I'm going to put a bunch of T's in there. Oh, hold on. Let's save and quit. Yeah, I can use the Bola mod. Just grab me some babies. No, you wouldn't be able to use the Bola mod. You'd be able to use the bolas that I make. Not just because it shares a similar word with a mod doesn't mean it's gonna do that. Nah, I have to make some. I just gotta figure out what feels good. Like I liked Minecraft with the horses where, you know, you kind of like fed them, but you could look to see if a horse was garbage, you know, before, and you could just be like, oh, I don't care about that one, and you like kind of tame them like that. But you know, this is kind of reptiles, so it's like, how, you know, like what's gonna feel good? So I'm looking at this. It looks like the additional information is not... Oh, well, hold on. Let's stop. Let's stop, rebuild, and hop back in. I have a feeling it's something else. I have a feeling there's something else that I need to do here. You know what? Instead of adding a bunch of T's there, I'm going to copy this, paste this in here, And I'm going to make this test. I think that's going to be better. Because the other thing, it was in the I don't want to turn on those settings for the additional information. All right, now we're going to hop back in. Wondering how intrusive it would be to remove passive physics and then apply controlled physics, and then vice versa, right? And then when you go to mount it, disable the controlled physics and go back to passive physics. I could try and do that. That may not be as much of a stretch till I get that done. Okay, so I see in there herd ID, so I see my test in there, but that's in the additional information still. I see it, but it's hidden. So we are getting the info text here. I shouldn't need any of this. It should look more like this. Alright, let's fireball that in, take another look. There we go, because it was duplicating that information already. So I still see it's not highlighted there. If I do game mode 1, let's go into settings, dev, and then turn off the extra stuff. Okay, so it is still there. It's just a different color, slightly different color. I can always change the text color. That's not a problem. I look down, I can see it. Okay. So I'm going to put some basic stuff in. I just want to be able to see... We'll close that out. So I will say health. There we go. Pipe in this array. Let's cut this out. Let's do lang.get. Perfect for now. And then I will put in this dot tamed modified health. That's the one I want. So now I should be able to see the health. Paste it in a couple more times. This one's going to be movement speed. I will just put in speed. We will assume that people will know it's for the movement. I'll make that assumption. If I could spell, oh my god. Movement speed, and then this will be max stamina. Max stamina. There we go. Now I can tell which one's going to be really fast and which one's going to be slow. Alright. So this got a speed of 9 out of 20, which is a little lower than average. Damn, max stamina of 16, speed of 5. It's actually... It's not that bad. Let me make the modifier a little more aggressive. Let's make it just a little more aggressive here. So let's go in mountable. Here we go, seats to motion. Oh wait, it wasn't seats to motion, right? It was right in here. I'm gonna cut this out. I'm not gonna put it into here. I will put it directly in seats to motion. Into these calculations, right? So vertical speed. There we go. Sprint. That's going to be the downward speed. Let's go ahead and put that in there. Ooh, better yet. Let me put it right. This is why I kept strength around. Let's do that. That looks good. All right, let's see what this slow poke looks like. I need one that's like fast and one that's slow. Okay, this feels slower now. Okay, that feels a little better. This guy needs to work out more. All right, so let's try and spawn a faster one. Let me get rid of these. Game mode 2. Here we go. We'll just fish out this one. 1, 2. All right, what do you got, buddy? Speed of 1. Oh God. Okay, see, this is too much. This is too much. It can't even fly with a speed of 1. All right. This poor guy's like, I can do it. Leave me alone. All right, so let's change the math on this a little bit. It's going to be an additive. I will give it a base speed, and then this will just add to that float. We'll do it that way instead. That way, a 1 can still pretend. There we go. Right? That I think is okay. You know what? I kind of want it to be a little slower. I want it to be just a little bit slower. Little dude is struggling. Yep. I was the runt of the litter. Let's try this. Because there needs to be enough speed to beat the natural gravity that I have weighing down on it. Okay, that feels in line with what I would expect. Right? I'm kind of falling faster. It's not really a glide. I gotta like hold space. You know, and this whole time I'm wasting stamina. I'm trying. Please believe me. All right. So let's land. Actually, I kind of want this one. I wish I wasn't flying away. I want to go back over here. I'm gonna clear out some mounts. Oh, you could do it, little guy. You can do it. This poor thing. Why was I created like this? Come on. You can make it. Oh. There we go. You may rest now. Alright, let's pull out another color. You know what? Pull out my favorite color here. There we go. I want a fast one. Ooh, a speed of 13 is pretty good. Speed of 3, 11, 3, 6. Come on. 19. Okay, that's pretty. Ooh, oh man. Look at the turning on this. Okay, that is nice. Look at that speed. Beautiful. Whee. Oh, you know what? The downward speed is so much that it almost took some damage there, didn't it? No? Okay. I guess not. It looked a little weird. There we go, side by side. You done well. Speed of 1. And a speed of 19. Oh man. Spell to make them faster? I don't know about that. I think the spell is, well, this isn't the magic mod though. This is something external. Although I am going to create like elemental versions of these and have them in the magic mod. But I don't think the buff system doesn't really translate to entities. They're not really the same thing. There's like player attributes, and then there's like the controllers, right? I would rather you get like a talisman or something to put on these to increase the speed. This is pretty cool though. All right, well that's working. 20 health, right? Because of the bonus of 5, it would be for every 1 point, it's 2 health. And then you get a baseline of 10, so 20 would make sense. Damn, this thing got a stamina of 19 as well? Wow. Wow, how much you working with here? There we go. 244. The hell does that mean in the grand scheme of things? See, that's seconds, right? That's seconds. I think I'm gonna have to change this a little bit. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 20. Yeah, I'm gonna have to modify that a little bit. Wow, this speed. This is awesome. Oh. Look at this. I knew a spammer would come in. Knew it. Yeah, I'm missing some things. This happened before. Maybe when you come down in a weird angle, does damage. Yeah, it looked like it was trying to damage things. No. Whoops. Maybe I should make a parachute item. Parachute would probably be a good thing in case you dismount. I can give you a 30-second parachute. See, with a magic mod, it's easy because I can just be like, yeah, you know, yeah, magical energies, a cloud forms around you. I think it being non-magic, people would be like, where's my chute? Why don't I see it above me? Sometimes it is easier to make everything kind of branded with magic. Same thing with these, right? Because I think right away I'm like, well, I mean, with the magic mod, you could totally, like, I could make a soul stone for these. I actually have a soul stone. Right? And then you could, like, store the mount in the soul stone. You know what I mean? And then, like, summon it kind of maybe Pokemon style, right? Maybe you could throw your Pokeball, right? And break it, crack that soul stone. There's just things that you could do, you know? With it, like, maybe taming this, you would use the soul stone. And then I can have it like a hotkey, you know, like WoW, where you could, like, summon the pet. And like spawn it near you, and then you know what I mean. But you can't really do that with just like an animal mount. People, you know, people will be like, "What's the soul stone?" Yeah, and people ask me to somehow make it so haste works on our Maple Wing Wyverns, but I told them that wasn't something I could do. Yeah. Like, haste as in, like, you make a haste stat? And then, like, apply it? Are you talking about my swiftness? Are you talking about the magic mod? The swiftness buff? Look at that cheeky guy over there. I gave them a brain, to where, like, if they do checks, they'll try to land every once in a while. But if they're over water, they will not land in the water. Unless you hit them, of course. knock him out of the sky with an arrow or something. From Rustbound, yeah. Swiftness, it has to do, it does the player walk speed attribute. And swiftness is only on effect with players because of that. So yeah, you can't really do that. I find myself explaining to people like they're, you know, just because it's an entity in there doesn't mean it works the same as you, right? They have like a traverse path kind of AI that like walks around. That's different than like the fear spell, right? Because I want to make you know, I have fear in the game. And it works really great, but they're like, well, can you fear players? No, because I would have to do a bunch of things. Like, it's basically making a whole new system, right? That takes keyboard input that I now have to intercept, right? That's going to be... Then I have to put in coordinates based on who feared you to make you run in the opposite direction, but it's player-controller stuff. Like, it's not as easy as, you know, running in fear for an entity. So it's like, no, you can't do that. Two different things. I don't really see the point in making a fear that affects players. I was gonna say, what the hell? Oh, I threw these. Almost got mad at myself. Like, what's going on here? I think there are too many things around. Oh shit, that one's still mortally wounded. I'm gonna try to re-add that. I'm gonna try and re-add it here. I don't think it's gonna work though. So I want Tamed Wyvern. I believe for the mortally woundable stuff. Right, yeah, so I already had it here. Mortally woundable. Get rid of animations. And then that's at a specific health. Let me take a look at the elves. Here we go, tamed, right? Right, so on the client, you add this behavior. And then on the server, you add the behavior, and then when below health 6. And that's it, right? That's it for the behavior. But it doesn't quite work. We'll probably get a crash. Well, that would take some time to implement. You know it. It looks like a nice day outside. I almost feel guilty. I prefer when it's raining, because I don't feel as bad like staying inside. You know? Why didn't it crash? Are you fucking kidding? Now it's working? Are you... The hell? Oh wait, no, it's not working. It just died. There was no mortally wounding it. It just died. Okay, I was about to say, what the actual hell? Oh, Vice got pissed. Right? I guess this is what happens, right? Like it just doesn't seem to work. It just doesn't seem to work. Here, let me make sure that this is the same thing, right? It's the Tamed Wyvern. Let's take a look at this. Let's examine the corpse here. Settings, dev, pop the debug on. Yeah, Tamed Wyvern, Ridgeback. Yep, skin, male, adult. Yep. Should have it. Didn't work. This is where I wish I had the magic mod, because I could just cast revive. Yep, just dies. Oh man, that one had a max speed of 20. Oh, I feel kind of bad now. This would have been a really good one. Like, health is a little above average, speed is like a tiny bit above the average, but the stamina was maxed. Look at it, wasted potential. If you do too much damage, you'll just insta die. Well, I was able to use the admin blade on this guy. Like, this has mortally woundable. Brr. I feel really bad doing this. He doesn't like our controller physics. Now he's killing us. Alright, I'll try to spawn this guy here. Okay, this one has a stamina of 2. Speed of 16, though. Speed of 16. Ooh. Vexus Vice! I sent you DM. Ah, okay. Let me see here. I bet it is it saddle stuff? There we go. Okay. I will be taking a look at that. I only got like 21 more minutes to stream. I'm gonna try and get mortally woundable stuff. You know, worst case scenario though, I could recreate the mortally woundable system and then tweak it to these guys. Right? But like all things, right? You could do anything with code, but how much effort is it going to take for your payout? Like that's really the big thing. It's kind of neat that these things could be like mortally wounded, but I mean at the same time it's also not needed. You know, like I feel like it's not exactly needed. All right, I'm gonna have to hammer this thing. Damn it, why did this thing have to have such a good health stat? So it's got to be under 6. Alright, should be mortally wounded, and it's not. It's still defiant. Look at it. You won't take me down. Let me know your thoughts on the saddle. Yeah, alright. Our baby's what you do. No, our babies. Just turn away. Don't look too closely. Interesting. Very interesting how it just seems to be completely ignoring mortally woundable. Now I could attempt to on spawn. I could attempt to add this behavior at runtime. Here, let's go ahead and get rid of it here. So it's going to be on initialize. Right, because I can add the behavior. How do we do this? It wants entity behavior. Can't remember if this is going to be like a type of kind of scenario. And this is going to be... There we go. Entity behavior, mortally woundable. Oh, you know what? I don't think I need type of. I think I just need this, right? No, that's not it. Crap. How do you do this again? I gotta remember. How do you do this? You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna, instead of me trying to figure it out, I'm just gonna look at add behavior. Boop, there we go. And show me all instances of this. We're gonna analyze. I found it's closer to 0. At least you don't have to test it yourself with Draconis, etc. It's me that has to punch my own babies to make sure it works. See, I'm doing you a favor. Everyone likes turkey and ham and, you know, and chicken, but no one likes to do the work. Let's see. Assigned by... This... I feel like I'm rabbit holing myself here. Everyone likes a ham sandwich, but... Alright, so that's just iterating through the properties. It's the same thing there. Kind of backtrack. API. So that's server side. See, a lot of this stuff, it's already... What about remove? Let's analyze this. Used by, uses. So there's nothing really using this. How about I do this? Oh, you know what? You know what? I'm remembering. Hold on. I know what to look at. Let's open up the magic mod. I think I figured this out. Right in here, let's look at behaviors, kind of squinch past all of this. Right down to here, right? So it's new behavior. Believe this is what it is. So I can copy this out, or actually I will cut it out, paste it in. Why don't I make this a... Nah, I'm not going to make it a variable. We'll just kind of inject it. Cut, paste, right? And mortally woundable, what do you take in? You just take an entity, easy, because I can just have it be this. There we go. So when this thing is initialized, it should give it mortally woundable. Now, it's not going to have anything set up here. Anything like when below health, but actually I don't mind that default. Remaining health of 10, damage required for full death. Oof. Things suddenly get weird here. Alright. I don't think I need to rebuild it. Let's just try and reload. Let's try it. Oh, also, Vice 10th made a mod for various stuff in Trouse, including like meat and stuff. If we want to refer that for the wyverns, I guess so. I mean, I wasn't too worried about the, you know, the troughs and meat. I could have made a patch, right? I probably just could have made a patch. You know how I feel using other mods? Soon as they stop doing their stuff, no way, is this thing... There was no crash. Ooh, that did it. Okay. Oh wait, it's dead. there was no mortally woundable. It's just dead. All right, hold on. Let's spawn another. I'm so sorry. Let me not get a hammer. This is mean. Let's pull out something that's a little, you know, spear. A good old spear. Damage on all these kind of suck. Let's pull out maybe a steel sword. Alright, that's decent damage. I'm sorry. This is for science. No, it just dies. That's all it does. It just dies. Damn it. Gotta go for now. Send an invite to you. Feel free to join whenever you got the time. Bye bye. See you later, Shin. Yeah, you can patch it in. Oh yeah, I know. I was just saying if we wanted to think about how to reference one. It's Dead Vice. Talk about beating a Dead Horse. I don't know why. I don't know why it's not not being mortally wounded. Why? Why are you not okay after being attacked? Let me look at the mortally woundable info. Here we go. Mortally woundable. Health state, okay. Mortally wounded total hours. Health healed. Health damage. So let's see if they have this. These things are set to not expire? Nope. They turned into a corpse. They were despawned. Anything in here? So I'm looking at behavior health. What are you? Get entity behavior so it needs task AI? Set mortally woundable. Ooh, I don't like where this is going. All right, let's try to enable some task AI here. Okay. Gonna re-enable this. I'm gonna re-enable this. Wait, I already have Task AI enabled. Wait a minute. All right, let's keep looking here. Let's see if there's anything else it needs. I don't think we have a wounded idol. Let me pepper that one in. We may have a wounded idol. I don't think I have it like in yet though. Let's pull up model creator. Well, I don't want that. Let's go to here. Mythic Legends. Resources, Mythic Legends. Assets, Mythic Legends. Shapes, entities, land, wyvern. Ridgeback. Male adult. Okay, so it's called Wounded Idol. Alright, we'll minimize that. We will minimize that. So in here... Animations. I will put it right next to swim. Add average. You know what? I think it's just going to be add. Alright, we'll reload. We've got an idle and a wounded standing. Alright. Well, we'll see what we can do with this. I have a feeling if it wants something in Task AI, this isn't going to work out too well. That's why, so with the stuff I got from you, Vexus, I will I'm gonna try and modify a new shape a little bit, and I'm gonna put some selection boxes on it and see how hard it would be to maybe use these guys. There, we'll make it full screen. It's like, oh, like, look at this one. This one should be mortally wounded, and it's just standing there. There's still a lot of weird things, although don't worry, everyone, we're back in a release candidate. Back in a goddamn release damn candidate. Okay. Nope. that just straight up killed it. Yeah, it's just not working. It's just not working. Die. On entity death. Let me just double check here. Let's go back down. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. I think what this requires, I think it specifically wants you to use entity agent as a very specific thing, and it seems like you can't extend it because I'm extending entity agent with my mountable logic, and I'm using entity agent as a basis. But you know what? Let's do a quick test. I know how to prove this. Somewhere here. Oh wait, that's the magic mod. Let's close that out. This is what I'm looking for. Tamed. Copy paste. Entity agent. This is gonna ruin a lot of stuff with everything I spawn, but you know what? It's for science. Man, I only got a couple more minutes. I have no idea what I'm gonna make for dinner. Ooh. What do I want for dinner? Ha! Okay. Entity behavior seedable. I guess I deserve that. Hold on. Let me take out a couple more things. Hold my beer. Let's see. Where is it? Entity rideable. Crap. What is this called? I wish the registry names were the same as like what the classes are. Because now I gotta remember which one that is here. I believe it's creature carry. You know what? I'm not even gonna attempt to do this. Because, like, what is this gonna prove, right? It's gonna prove, yeah, you need to extend entity agent. And I still can't use that system, you know? Like, that's all this is proving. Now, let's hop back in. So, really, I think the next steps of Vexus is we need to sit down and think, like, okay, how are these wyverns gonna work, right? How do you tame them? How do you breed them to get specific stats? You know, like what does the gameplay loop look like for something like this? And unfortunately, we don't have as many options as we would if this was like part of the magic mod, right? Because for the magic mod, I could use soul stones, these things could be summoned, you know, like I can make the little parachute that I talked about. There's a lot of things that you can make, and magic kind of splits the difference. Whoa, what happened? When I dismounted, I gently hovered to the ground. Yeah, that was magic, you know, kind of saving you from dismounting from a high place. You're welcome, you know? What is this one? Okay, that's the very fast one. So Verlia, so you could see this. This is one that has the slowest flight that it could randomly have. This is the slowest flight. Basically, this thing it's glue. Right? That's the slowest. This one is the fastest right now. Why is it slow? Oh, because you may have missed it. I put in randomized stats for these. So you can have randomized health, speed, and max stamina. You notice when I was flying there's that little bar off to the side that I didn't center yet. That is your stamina bar for these guys. And the longer you're in the air, you know, your stamina will go down. And then resting on the ground, there you go. You can see your stamina start to tick back up. Yeah, that's it. That's going to encourage a lot of breeding. Yeah, so, you know, it's I'm kind of wonder where, you know, like what does a system like that look like? You know? Like what does breeding mean? You know, because these things can have eggs, so what I was thinking is these two could breed, and it could spawn not a physical item egg, but an entity, right? It would spawn an entity that's an egg, and I can have it to where maybe you could pick it up and then like move it and like place it back down, but it's something that would exist in the world and not in your inventory like a chicken egg or something, right? And then that egg will have randomized stats on it based on the mother and the father. Right, so, and what I want you to do is you see, like, the speed of 19 and, like, the speed of 1 here, right? But then, wow, this wyvern just sucks pretty bad. You know what I mean? But let's say maybe the max stamina is, like, 18 or so, right? So, although this one is, like, almost perfect breed stock. Let's just pretend that this one's stamina is 1 and this one's 19, right? But you would encourage these two to breed to eventually get maybe one with like the father's speed, right, and one with like the mother's stamina, right? So now you have that as like breeding stock. I'm thinking, anyways. But I'm not sure what that would look like, right? Like, would there be minimum stats, right? Like, could the one thing, like, would it be a random between, like, what the mother and the father would be for, like, each stat? You know, like, how does that work? I'm not sure, but the system is in. It is in. Yeah, see, that's like 288. I think I need to change the stamina here. That's 224. Yeah, so they are different. Each pip here is 30 seconds. That's Alpha Daddy. We are as players going to be able to see their stats for trading, breeding purposes? Yeah, I think so. I have it to where you can see the stats right now. You see other stuff, and I have the there. Let's take this off, right? So you'd be able to see, like, you know, the health and the speed and the stamina. And I like the idea of, like, I honestly like the idea of you, like, wounding these in the wild, right? And, like, trapping them somehow. That way the wild ones you see, right, those could start off as Gen 0. And then you would breed those two, and then you'd go into, like, babies. That's how I have my horses. All right, perfect. Then we should talk later. Soon be kind of random like genetics. Yeah, probably a random between the mother and the father, with maybe a random chance to be like one tick higher. You know, like maybe have it to where like it would take the higher of the two stats and then maybe go like a couple beneath it. And then maybe have like another random to where like it has a chance of like exceeding it by one. So maybe these two could make a baby with like the speed of 20. You know, that way it's still random, but there's also a chance that you could get something a little above your stat to like, and then maybe that would be the new breeding one, and then you could have it go, you know, somewhere else. I love the feature like wounding animals should be a thing. You saw Vexus. Mortally woundable doesn't seem to work. You know what it could be? It could be controlled physics. Oh, control stop moving. Stop all AI tasks. So this is trying. It is trying. Yeah, see, I don't see controlled. I don't see anything for controlled physics. Well, if it's doing controls and entity controls, stop all movements, get behaviors, task. It's got to be something in task AI. Got to be controlled physics. Duplicate the code over and over. Read it, Wyvern, read it, yeah. Yeah, well, they could have a couple variables for the breeding. Like, first, a chance to get the genetics from either the dad or the mom. And then from that choice, it could be a +2, -2 type of deal. Yeah, it could. That wouldn't be too bad, because that would... You know, Willow, that's not a bad idea, right? Because then you look at something like this, right? Like, you know, look at health of 16. Like, maybe it could, like, each egg's like, alright, I'm gonna be like the mom or the dad in this stat, right? And it's not a range between them, right? But it'll be like, okay, well, this egg's going to take from the father. And then, so it's going to be 16, so, you know, that would be either a 14 or an 18 that egg is going to have, right? And then maybe like a speed of 1 or a speed of 19, right? Like, uh-oh, it got the speed of 1, right? So it could be anywhere between 1 and 3, because I'm not going to put you in the negative, right? So, but you could get lucky and have it to where, like, oh, it looks like it got, you know, the speed and the stamina from the father, and then maybe, I mean, it's weird to think of it this way, because, like, I don't want to go deep into genetics here. I don't want to be like, oh, well, this is the mother or father, this is Gen 2, and make this whole breeding system. This is going to be as basic as one as you can get, right? It's the male is going to see a female, and then, you know, they'll mate if you want them to. I think that's a good idea. Okay, gremlins are home. I'll be around later. See you soon. Yeah, it's time for me to raid someone too. But yeah, the randomized stats are looking pretty good. I need to fix. I just have to move this stamina bar over a little bit more. Maybe I'll make each pip like a minute of flight. That 288 needs to be converted into. Well, it needs to be converted into real stamina. You know, based on that's how many seconds it is. So it's got to be. I could do that kind of formatting. So you'll see like, oh, this thing has like 4 minutes 30 seconds, whatever it is. But yeah, work is getting done. Let's find someone to raid. Twitch.tv, man. This whole time I've been talking, my tongue's been sore because I bit it today by accident. It sucks. And I feel it even more. Mischief of Mice is playing, and they are just now starting the stream. Let's do it. Raid Mischief of Mice. Awesome dude. Awesome dude. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching. The Wyverns. I'll be adding the new model. Feels pretty good so far. I like that, you know, the Wyverns, like, they're all kind of different. I think I want to make alpha versions of these as well. Just things, maybe some that are a little more powerful, or maybe the alphas have the ability to have like a higher stat. But either way, and I also want to add, now I can add the I want to add storage to them, little bedroll, right? Maybe a second mounting slot, you know, put the saddle on, get the bridle going. But yeah, flight feels good. That's all that matters, right? Because you're gonna want these things to, like, they'll look fine on the ground, but they really gotta feel good when you're cruising around your server with your like plus 20, plus the medallion that you put on their face to make their movement speed like 25% faster or something else, right? It's gotta look good. All right, everyone, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. I'll talk to y'all later. And Willow, thank you for that sub. I appreciate it. All right, everyone, have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye. Adios. See you later. Bye.